Hey garden friends, it's long overdue for me to get my lazy tail out here and get some gardening done. So I've got several tasks I got to tackle today. So in addition to me taking care of some tasks out in the garden today, I want to share some very peaceful and calm scenes of flowering shrubs and perennials. So this fountain garden is getting a total redo. I removed the variegated carex I had back here. So I've removed the two rad sunny knockout roses that I had on either side of the fountain. And most of the hostas, well, there's one over here, but most of the hostas have all been eaten up by voles. All right, so on either side of the fountain, I have two purple salvias. I can't wait for those to get nice and full and fill in the area. These white flowers that you see bordering the front are all alyssum, clear crystal white. They get to be roughly a foot wide and probably a foot tall. So that's a nice border accent. I still have to finish throwing in a few more. Grab this. These right here are scabiosa flowers. They're perennials. I have a purple blooming variety. And a pink blooming variety. The pink one is called Pink Mist. Scabiosa also goes by the name of pincushion flower. So yeah, let me go ahead and wrap this up real quick. So of course I did end up getting a lot of these scabiosas on clearance. So they're not in the best state, but that's fine. What I do is I come in here and I just cut off all of the old stems, clean her up a bit. I might lose a few leaves, that's fine. Might even lose a few flowers. Just move the canopy aside. Take your pruners, get to the base of that spent wood, and snip it off. Just reach your hands in there and clean out all the dead foliage. The good thing about scabiosa is you can divide these in just 2 to 3 years. You get a nice, healthy clump. Just dig them out. Even this right here can be a whole new plant. You just dig them out. Get a spade, a very sharp spade, and just slice that bad boy in half. And you got 2 plants. This one here has a lot of roly-polies, if you guys can see that. And they can be controversial pests. They're actually good guys. A lot of folks get really upset because they think roly-polies go after fresh, new foliage. They really don't. What they do is they help break down or they help to clean up all the dead and decaying matter, plant matter that is. So as you can see, I have a lot of dead leaves in here, dead stems and whatnot. And so that's all these roly-polies are doing, is eating them up. So if you don't want roly-polies, I think it's pretty hard to imagine a garden without dead or decaying plant matter. So you're always going to get them. To keep them under control, you can use diatomaceous earth. Just make sure you reapply the diatomaceous earth after a rain, because it is relatively ineffective at that point. So this one here, I'm completely removing from the pot. This way I'm able to identify all the weed roots that have grown all within this root ball of this scabiosa. Make sure I remove as many of them as possible. So last thing you want to do is shove a plant in the ground with a handful of weeds. See all of this? All of this is pulling out more scabiosa. So I'll replant that. So I'll just go ahead and plant. I have 1, 2, and this one here is 3 separate plants. So we'll put the big one here. So what'll happen is I'll just get a full mat of all of these things. It'll just be a full mat. Squeeze that little one right here. Just keep it well watered. And then stick the other little pieces of alyssum over here in the corner. Nothing to it. Make sure I fertilize these and keep them well watered. All right, guys. So one of my Meyer Lemon trees did not make it. So I since purchased a replacement. You know what? I don't even know if this is a Meyer. Oh, it is a Meyer Lemon. Okay, here we go. I don't know if you guys can read that. So yeah, This is the replacement. It desperately needs to get in this container. So I'm going to quickly transplant that. Well, I didn't expect too much of a root ball. I don't see any mold or fungus or anything like that. So I guess it's safe to say this soil is okay. So I'm not going to break my back picking it up and pouring it in a barrel. There we go. All right. So I'm not going to remove all the soil, but just enough to get our root ball in there and a little fertilizer. Got some espoma or organics, citrus tone, and a little bit of cactus, palm, and citrus mix. Throw in a little citrus tone. Perfect. Okay. Easy peasy. Throw a little bit more in. I can tell this is probably 2 plants forced in here together. See those crossing branches at the base? I'll let it root in before I prune it. If anything, I can prune it next year. Make sure there's no air pockets, so I thoroughly drench the root ball. Easy peasy. Let's turn this pot around. Pat it down so there are no air pockets. Of course, this soil will settle, as all potted plant soil settles. Water that in deeply. Just get the stupid tag off of it. Throw a little more citrus tone in there. I think that's good. Water it in. I'm gonna have to get some gravel and top dress the soil, but this baby is good to go. So the Survivor doesn't look too hot, but here it is. Let's see if you guys can see that. So here's the Survivor right here. It doesn't look too hot, but we shall see. All right, guys, thanks for hanging with me on this episode of AJ's Green Thumb, and I'll see you on the next one.